Hello friends, this is Swapnil. Welcome to the channel NetKingIT. So in today's video, we are going to discuss about AWS Network Access Control List and Security Group. So Security Group and Network ACL act as a virtual firewalls which allow you to control access to the AWS resources within your VPC. So basically, Security Group and Network ACL both act in a similar way, which provides granular control access to the AWS resources within your VPC. But even though both are acting in a similar way, there are few differences. We will discuss about it. So in terms of scope, Network ACL protect entire subnet. It means it apply at the subnet level. In security group, it protect individual EC2 instances, which applies at the instance level. Let me explain you with the help of diagram. If you see in this diagram, the network ACL applies at the subnet level. Okay, we can create one ACL and we can apply that NACL to all the subnets, or we can create specific NACL to the specific subnet. So in terms of NACL, if we restrict any particular traffic, let's say if we restrict this traffic on NACL for port 443, then it will get applied to whole subnet. If we apply this NACL to other subnets as well, then it will get applied to whole subnet. And this NACL will restrict the 443 traffic for all the instances belongs to this subnet. Okay, so basically NACL gets applied to the whole subnet. In terms of security group, let's say if we restrict the traffic for 443 in this security group, and if this security group attached to this instance, then only this instance will get restricted for port 443. But rest of the instances will not get restricted for port 443. It will get allowed. So in short, security group applies at the instance level and NACL gets applied at the subnet level. So next point is default rule. So in terms of default behavior of network ACL and security group, by default, NACLs allow all traffic. Okay. And by default, in security group, it deny all inbound and allows all outbound traffic. Okay, let me show you this with the help of diagram. So by default, in case of NACL, it's a default NACL, then it will allow the traffic outbound direction as well as it will allow the traffic inbound direction in case of default NACL. In case of security group, by default, it allows the outbound traffic by default. It will get allowed. But in case of inbound traffic, the security group will restrict this traffic. It will not allow. Let me show you NACL and security group on the AWS Management Console, so we can get more idea on it. So we can search for the NACL from search box. We can go to VPC and inside VPC we can find the network ACL here. So this is a default network ACL. If you see the inbound rule, the all traffic is already allowed. Similarly, if you see the outbound rule, in outbound rule also the all traffic is already allowed. So by default, the NACL allows all traffic in direction as well as in out direction. We can restrict the specific traffic only if we customize these rules. For example, if I edit this inbound rule, let's say I want to allow only port 80 traffic, then I can perform the custom rule. Let's say HTTP 80. I will allow it. So if you see in the inbound rule, in direction, it will allow only port 80. and rest of the traffic, all traffic will get denied with the implicit deny rule at the bottom. Also, in case of outbound direction, we can apply the similar rule. We can apply, let's say, for port 443. So if you see in the inbound rule, the first rule, it will check for port 443, it will get allow, but rest of the traffic will get deny with the bottom rule, that is implicit deny. In case of security group, as we discussed, the security group inbound direction by default is deny and outbound direction it gets allowed. Let me quickly create one security group here. We will give a name, any description, select the VPC. See, if you see by default, there is no inbound rule, but there is an outbound rule which allows the all traffic. Let me create it. Okay, we cannot, okay, such name we cannot give. Let me give it any. So the security group is created. Let me quickly show you. So we have created this security group. If you see, by default, there is no rule defined inside the inbound rule. But if we see the outbound rule, there is a rule which allows all traffic. So inbound direction, there is no rule which restrict all the traffic. So we can put custom rule here. We can edit this rule, add rule. Let's say we need to allow on port traffic on port 443, and we will allow it from anywhere. Save the changes. So if you see now, we can see the inbound rule is allowed port 443 here. It's a custom rule. So now it will get allowed only on the port 443 in inbound direction. Outbound direction, there is already rule which allowing all traffic. Okay, let's move on to the next point. So far we have discussed about scope and default rule. Now next is a statefulness. Okay, statefulness means if we allow the traffic in one direction, then automatically it will get allowed in the other direction, which we call stateful. So network access control list is a stateless because we need to allow the traffic in both directions. Okay, that's why it's a stateless. Security group is a stateful. Stateful means once we allowed in one direction, then no need to apply the rule in the other direction. It will get allowed automatically. So once we put the inbound rule to allow it, then outbound rule will get automatically allowed. So let me explain it with the help of diagram. So in this case, let's say in case of NACL, if we allowed the traffic inbound direction, then we need to put one more rule in outbound direction. So basically we need to set both direction rules in NACL. That's why it is a stateless ACL. So in terms of security group, if we allow the traffic in one direction, let's say inbound direction, then we no need to put any rule outbound direction. It will get automatically allowed. Let me show you on the AWS Management Console. So if you see, we are in the security group. I have allowed this traffic 443 inbound direction. Then in case of, let's say I remove this rule. Okay. Now you can see there is no rule in the outbound direction, but there is a rule in inbound direction. So let's say someone accesses any one server where the security group is applied, then that server can be accessible over the port 443, and we no need to set any rule in the outbound rule. Okay, so inbound direction, just one rule is enough for the security group. We will discuss this in detail in next video where we will do the lab. In NACL, we need to put the rule in both direction. The next point is rule evaluation. This is the important one. Like rule evaluation, NACL use numbered rules. Okay, lowest first and the highest number will execute later. Let me explain you in the AWS Management Console. So basically, if you see, this is the NACL which we have configured just now. So for example, here the rule number is 100. Okay, let's say I create one more rule and I will put here number 150 and I will put the custom rule again port 80, and let's say I deny this, I restrict the port, let's say the rule number 150 where I restrict the HTTP port 80. So in this case, the traffic first look at the lower number. So in this case, the traffic will get allowed with this rule number 100 because it will execute the first rule number, which is lowest number, and then it will go for the 150. But it is getting allowed in the first rule, that's why it will not hit the second rule. So it will get allowed. So let's say now I'm just modifying this ACL for more understanding. So let me change the policy like this. If you see in this policy now, I changed the rule number 100, I make it deny, and the rule number 150, I make it allowed. So now if you see, I just did changes like the rule number 100 now is deny the port 80 traffic, right? So in this case, it will get deny because it will hit the first rule, which is the lower number 100, which is denying the port 80. Hence, it will not hit the next number. So it will get denied with the first rule. It will not come to the second rule because the first rule will get hit first, which will deny the port 80. We will do these things in the lab in upcoming video. So in NACL, it will prefer the lower number first and then the higher number. So it will execute the operation in the ascending order. Okay. In the last, there is a star rule, which is implicit deny. The rest of the traffic, it will get denied by this inbound rule. And similarly, in the outbound rule. So in the NACL, it will prefer the lower number first and the higher number later. And the last star rule, it will get applied to deny the rest of the traffic. Okay, I hope you understand so far. The last point is support. Basically, NACL support both direction. It allows and deny rules in both direction. We can set allow and deny rule, but in security group, it only supports allow rule. Let me show you on the AWS Management Console. If you see here in the NACL, there is an option to allow and deny, right? If we edit the rule, then it gives us the option to deny or allow the rule. Okay. But let's say in case of security group, there is no such options available in security group. We just need to put the specific ports to get it allowed. So we just need to put specific custom protocols or the port numbers that we need to allow. Okay. The rest of the traffic will get denied by default. So there is only allow rule. I hope you understand so far. We will do the lab in upcoming video so you can get the more understanding on it. I hope you found this video informative. If you really like my videos, please don't forget to subscribe the channel. Thank you for watching it. Take care. Bye bye.